don't know who did it, what happened, or anything. We just know that he was murdered and where they put him at.
A Little Rock murder, one of many that remains unsolved after years of questions. But now a new investigative unit is digging deeper to the city's cold cases.
The police department's trying to do the right thing, take a step to try to solve those cases.
Somber hearts and honored traditions. Dozens of people gathered to remember a man none of them knew.
He gave his life for our country. It's the least we could do for him.
I feel honored to be here.
So I went to 13 different gas stations this morning, and hopefully that will help our odds and they'll pay out today.
Some groups of friends are going to extreme lengths to turn 6 numbers into $700 million. We'll have tonight's winning Powerball numbers as the news starts now.
I get up, I think about him. And my heart breaks every day because, I can't talk to him. I can't see his face. I can't touch him.
A mother's tears and an unsolved murder.
Nearly 20 years after Omar Yancey was found dead in the trunk of a car in Little Rock, his case is still cold, but there could be new hope for families like his. And good evening. I'm Craig O'Neill.
And I'm Denise Middleton. Tonight, THV11's Caitlin Gardenhire tells us how the Little Rock Police Department's new cold case team is coming out of retirement to work on unsolved cases.
The Little Rock Cold Case Unit was formed in May, and it's already made one arrest, which investigators say is just the beginning. Very good news for the city and for the families that have been sitting in the dark.
I'm the mother of Omar Yancey, Omar Jabbar Yancey, and he was murdered December the 28th, 1999.
18 years ago, Omar Yancey was found dead in the trunk of a car at the 2000 block of Louisiana Street in Little Rock. His case, a haunting memory his mother, Redius Yancey, can't shake.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was early in the morning. And I was getting ready to go to work, and there was a knock on the door.
That knock changed her life forever.
It's devastating. It's torture. I get up in the morning time, the first thing that I think about is him.
Even after all these years, she's still holding on to hope for closure. And that's what the new Little Rock Police Department cold case team is hoping to do. Bring closure to families like Omar Yancey's.
We're looking at cases that have happened in the last few months up to decades ago.
Former homicide detective Tommy Hudson came back from retirement to work part-time on the team.
The police department's trying to do the right thing, take a step to try to solve those cases and try to take some of the burden off the active homicide detectives because, some of those guys hadn't had a day off since May.
He says it's hard to tell families to be patient because they've been waiting for so long.
I can tell you that we have cases that we anticipate future arrests soon.
He says investigators are coming for the bad guys.
They may think they've walked away. Nope, we're coming.
As for Miss Yancey, she prays that one day she'll get her answers.
I just want closure. That's all I want. To find out who murdered him and why.
The new cold case unit is expected to be a permanent addition to the department.
Caitlin, thank you. As Little Rock police work to solve cold cases like this, officers are also investigating many of the city's 45 homicides of 2017. And today, an arrest was made in one of those murders. 19-year-old Jasper Singleton is accused of killing 43-year-old Stephen McPherson at the Big Country Chateau apartment complex. Witnesses told police an argument inside the apartment led to the shooting July 27th. Singleton is charged with first-degree murder. And the Little Rock Police Department also getting closer to filling its shortage of nearly 80 officers. 27 new recruits are now in training to become police officers. And with 3 more classes scheduled over the next year, the LRPD hopes to be fully staffed by next fall.
All right, let's talk weather over here in the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Ed Buckner, and it is a beautiful evening.
Yeah, it's not too bad. 75 degrees is what it's showing in the Weather Garden right now after a very cool day. kind of a little bit cloudy until late. We saw some clearing take place, but Craig, more of the same is expected for the next couple of days. The only thing we're looking at is what Harvey will do in the Gulf of Mexico, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. All right, let's show you the highs from today. 84, that's it. Yeah, it's 8 degrees cooler than the average high this time of the year. It was 89 in Arkadelphia, and again, Camden and Monticello coming in for some of the warmer readings, as well as El Dorado there at 92. As far as the satellite goes, not much here to show you. The front has pushed well down into Louisiana and Texas, and that is taking all the rainfall with it as well. And again, most of the cloud cover moving away as well. So mainly clear tonight and much, much cooler. Again, we're at 71 at the airport. I'm thinking 64, the overnight low. And tomorrow we'll see a high of only 84 degrees with lots and lots of sunshine. Again, it may last for a few days. We'll talk more about that and the chance of rain over your weekend coming up in weather.
A homeless Vietnam War veteran was honored today by people who didn't even know him. THV11's Melissa Zigowitz was at the ceremony and is here to tell us why so many people showed up.
Denise, today early Vietnam War era veteran Billy W. Halstead was laid to rest, surrounded by dozens of strangers. No one can find much about him, but what we do know is that this veteran put his life on the line to protect us back home.
Someone needs to be here for these heroes.
A veteran with no known living family was laid to rest Wednesday beside dozens of strangers.
So I feel like that's the least we can do is go and be part of his family.
No one there knew much about veteran Billy W. Halstead, except for that he sacrificed his life for his country.
We as Americans have a duty to honor that sacrifice and service.
No pictures or memories could be traced from his past. But that did not stop the Patriot Guard riders and Arkansans from coming out to salute this hero.
I know very little about him, but that's the case normally for us. If you have a DD-214, we honor you.
Ceremonies for homeless veterans are unfortunately more common than people may think, and they sometimes even go unnoticed.
Been the ride captain on about 175 of them. And I couldn't tell you how many of them were indigent or had no family.
Halstead served in the early days of the Vietnam War.
They were treated really, really rough when they came home.
So today was his day to finally be honored as a Vietnam War veteran. And although no loved ones were by his side,
rest in peace, soldier.
Billy W. Halstead's service to this country will always be remembered.
I hope he knows that he's not forgotten, and he never will be forgotten, that he was honored today by those that didn't know him, and he'll be honored for many more that don't know him, but we'll see his flag and his plaque.
Today's service was requested by the Natural State Funeral Home in Jacksonville. The Patriot Guard says they tried to find friends and family, but in the end could not find anyone.
Melissa, thank you. Well, another service member honored today in a special way. Senator Tom Cotton met with the family of World War II veteran George Anderson to present them with recovered war medals. Anderson died in 2006. He was an Army engineer originally from Black Rock, Arkansas. Today, Cotton gave the medals to Anderson's 2 daughters.
One thing we've seen over my time in the Congress is just lots and lots of them got their paperwork, as Charlotte ultimately found, and got to our office without ever having received the medals they deserve.
Well, if you feel like your family members may be owed medals, Senator Cotton says contact his office and they may be able to help.
A health alert tonight as the State Health Department investigates a Salmonella outbreak in Stuttgart. There are 4 confirmed cases of Salmonella poisoning, which have been tracked back to the Chuck Wagon restaurant in Stuttgart. Dr. Gary Wheeler with the Arkansas Department of Health says his office was notified Friday by a local doctor that several people were ill, and within hours, inspectors were at the restaurant. Recommendations were made to prevent any more spread of that disease.
In this case, they've been working with the restaurant. They've been completely cooperative. They've followed all the suggestions that we've had. And so we typically do not close a restaurant as long as the restaurant is being cooperative and put in place measures to make sure that from that point on, the food is safe.
THV11 stopped by the Chuck Wagon restaurant, but management was not available for a statement.
All right, tonight is the night for millions of Americans who took a chance and bought a Powerball ticket. The jackpot sits at $700 million tonight, and the winning numbers were drawn just moments ago. Here they are: 7, 26, 16, 23, 6, and Powerball 4.
Well, if someone has those winning numbers, odds are they're about to call the other people they bought tickets with after they are revived.
Oh yeah, and as our David Lipman shows us, the higher the jackpot, the more likely it is that groups of friends will combine their cash to go after that big prize.
Yeah, Denise, Craig, I met with one of those groups this evening, and I want to assure anyone at UAMS, if you hear some screams from nurses right now, it's a good thing.
I got that butterfly in my tummy, the good one.
If you buy lottery tickets, you had better be optimistic, right? These nurses were part of a group of 13 who decided to join forces to take down the Powerball.
It was a $10 pot, and with that you got 4 automatically generated tickets, and you got to choose one ticket and choose your numbers.
They all spent some time picking their lucky numbers, but Steve Vincent spent a lot more time than that buying their tickets.
Well, we didn't want to buy them all in one area, so I commute back and forth from Hot Springs, so I drove and hit every gas station from here to Hot Springs just to kind of spread it out. So I went to 13 different gas stations this morning, and hopefully that will help our odds.
These nurses have all known each other for a couple years and say they're a pretty close group. They work in a unit for cancer patients, and their friendship and kindness is good for the patients and even shows up in their multi-millionaire fantasies.
And I'd probably give back to my unit. I would buy mattresses for the unit, but they'd stay on the unit because I feel like somehow they'd start going all over the hospital.
They'd also take their wives on dates and give to veterans and their other coworkers. But even if they don't win, the Powerball pool has brought these nurses even closer together.
I don't know. I know if we don't win, I think this will probably be something we start to do from here on out. So it's nothing that gives us something to do.
And the nurses all told me they'd be glued to the TV right now just to see if their numbers won, but they did promise me all of their patients would be okay.
Sure, no, I hope so. Goodness, did he say 14 gas stations?
13 gas stations.
13 gas stations?
Over the 60 miles from
okay,
UAMS
he's got to win
house.
something.
And
that's a lot of gas.
And you know that Valero in Stuttgart, where we had the winner earlier this year, was packed today because people are going back to where the numbers are hot. They always do.
And Steve told me that the gas stations in Benton and Bryant were particularly busy, but as he got closer to Hot Springs, not quite as crowded.
All right.
People always think of the small towns, but that's okay.
yeah.
Whatever works for you, and it brings people together. All right, now listen, here we go. All you have to do is match the 5 white ball numbers and the red Powerball to win the jackpot with the ticket you're holding, and you need a lot of space to store all those dollar bills.
Oh yeah, in fact, the stack of $700 million bills would be taller than the Statue of Liberty. It would be taller than the Washington Monument and the Empire State Building, even the famous Burj Khalifa Tower in Dubai.
Yeah, and if you lay them all down, they would stretch about 47.5 miles long. Wow. That's enough to cover the distance from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, or from Little Rock past Pine Bluff. Of course, that's before taxes, though. Once the government takes its cut, that stack wouldn't stretch quite as far.
Hey, it'll stretch far enough for me. That's a lot of money.
It would be worth finding out.
All right, well, keep it here. We'll be right back.